Imagine transforming your email routine and other writing that you do on a regular basis, other kinds of content production, from a tedious chore into a streamlined, creative process that gives you a lot more done in a lot less time. And it also improves the quality of the messages you get. And what if I told you that by leveraging the power of AI, some cloud-based tools, and a few other little simple techniques that you can do this, that you're going to revolutionize the way you communicate, creating your content with video and with writing. Hi, I'm Terry Brock with Stark Raving Entrepreneurs, and in this episode, I'm going to reveal to you a secret recipe that I haven't shared this detail anywhere else. You're going to get it first right here. This is what I'm using to craft and mold the messages that I send out via email, and you're going to see how you can use this as well. It's going to help your quality improve, and it'll also dramatically reduce the amount of time that it takes for you to put that together. And if you're busy like we all are, and you probably are, you're going to be able to get a lot more done as a content creator, someone who's using writing a lot. Maybe you're also doing some video and audio. All of this together, you're going to be able to take that and use your digital communication to get a lot more done and really build your business. So get ready to take your email game to the next level and see some dramatic improvements. You are going to love this process as you see what we're doing right now. And hey, this is just you and me talking to you about how I've done this thing. I've had a background in writing, actually, since I was in elementary school. Did a lot of work for the high school newspaper. I worked for a community newspaper, and they sent me to Washington, D.C. And when I was 16, I covered Richard Nixon's inauguration. At age 16, that was something, but I was writing back then. Then undergrad degree was radio, TV, and newspaper. And now, lately, I've been doing a lot with blogging, probably like you, doing blogging, doing other kind of writing. And there's a way to do it that I have found just recently that has revolutionized what I'm doing for the better. It makes it a whole lot easier. It makes it much faster. And all of this is easily within your grasp. And by the way, you can even do it for free. That's the nice thing about this too. So I'm going to share with you some tools that I'm using and putting it together. But before we even get into the tools, one thing that's very, very important is what you do not want to do. And that is simply, well, what I've heard on internet and different places on YouTube, some well-meaning people say, all you got to do is ask ChatGPT to get this, and then you just copy that, paste it in there, hey, and you're all set. No, my dear friends, it's going to be something far different than that. You want to look at ChatGPT as your coaching assistant, as your intern who's really smart, but you need to tell it what to do and how to do it. Use it as a rough draft, or as I like to say, sometimes it's a rough draft. I call it the doggy draft, okay? My term, but it's an idea of you start with that. So do not do copy and paste. A copy and paste thing really hurts you in the long run because you're not exercising those juices, but you use AI in a certain way. I'm going to show you exactly what I do. Here's what I do. I start by, first of all, collecting ideas. You think, okay, where are we going to get the ideas for this, and how do we come up with it? You know what it's like when you've got a deadline coming up and you need to sit down and you got to pay attention. What are you going to come up with? And you can't think of anything. I've tried it. Staring at a blank screen, kind of like staring at a blank piece of paper in a typewriter years and years ago. When I would look at it, you have your whiteout and all that, and the ribbons. And for those of you that don't know that, Google it or use Perplexity and find out on that. But long ago, the same thing is there. Well, here's where you can break around that. What I've got is a Google Doc called content or ideas for content. And I can put things in there very quickly. I like Google Doc for several reasons. First of all, it's easily available. I can share it with others if I want. And the nice thing about it, I can access it from several different devices. I can access it from my laptop. I have a smartphone, two smartphones. I have an Android and iOS, so I can use both of those, whichever device I have with me, and I get an idea. You know what it's like? You go, oh yeah, that's a great idea. Or you're reading a book, or you're reading a website article, and you see it and you think, okay, this is a really good idea. Capture it at that moment. I remember the late, great Earl Nightingale, the Dean of Personal Development is what we called him. He was with the Nightingale Conant Corporation, wonderful guy, and he's no longer with us now. But I remember he would say often that when an idea hits you, you need to stab it. And what he meant by stab it was get a pen and paper and write it down, because otherwise you'll not remember it. If you're like me, and I know I sure am, yeah, in many ways. My buddy Scott Friedman told me this. And what we can do is you want to capture that idea when it hits you. Writing it on a piece of paper is a good way to do that. But even better would be to grab your smartphone and just do a quick dictation into, I like Google Docs. Because with Google Docs, I can put it in there very quickly. Matter of fact, just about a few weeks ago, I was getting lab work done for my annual physical, and I walked there to get there and do it done. It's about 2.25 miles. I remember on my watch seeing that. On the way back, I'm walking along the side of the road there, Turkey Lake Road here in Orlando, and believe it or not, the connection on the internet was really, really good. And so I just took it out and I started dictating my thoughts. Put them in there and did a brain dump down to that. This is something you want to do. Have a place where you can put your thoughts. Now, you might use Google Docs like I do. I also will use Pages, which comes with a Mac on the computer. I like Pages. Microsoft Word, of course, Evernote. There's all kinds of different tools. Gina likes to use Notes. So the Notes Apple that comes with an Apple computer, and just put it in there in the notes. That's another way to do it. You find the tool that works right for you, but you want something so that what you can do, here, let me grab my phone here. It's like this. Here's got my iPhone here. I can just take this real quickly, hit a couple of keys, and then start talking. And I did this as I was walking down the road, down Turkey Lake Road, being able to just talk and do a brain dump into this. So I've got all the information there when it comes time to produce the next piece of content. Now, there's a little quirk that I run into. I don't know if you've run into this. Drop a note in the comments below if this has happened to you. In Google Docs, for whatever reason, when I start putting the information in there, I like to use the voice typing. Real nice, because I can talk faster than I can write or type. So by talking, using that wonderful, wonderful tool called voice typing that Google Docs has, you can do a lot. I really love that thing, and it's accurate, very much so, except there's one little quirk on my computer. I don't know why this is doing it, but when I start a new paragraph, it indents it by 2 spaces. I don't want that. I want it flush, but it does it by 2, and it starts with lowercase letters. Usually, if you're starting a new sentence, you want it in a capital letter in most cases, but it doesn't do that. But I'm going to show you a way you can work around that too. Stay with me on this. So I put it in there and I make sure we've got it, and I use those kind of tools to get a lot of things done. Okay, so here's the scene what I'm doing. I got my lav mic on, just like this one right here. I'll use that. I can put that into my smartphone also, or I can do it on the computer if I want to, and I'm able to put that in there very, very easily. I put the ideas in there. I have links on Google Docs. I'll put in links as well. When I'm using my laptop computer, it's easier for that. So I read a good quote or I see an article that's got several good points in it, I can just copy that URL and put it in there as well. Okay, then once I've got that, here's what I do. Using Google Docs, I create that document and I create a special Google Doc for this particular email. So for instance, if it's on January the 10th or whatever the date is, I would just put in January 10th, put in the year, and then I would put in the topic of what I'm talking about. And that would be the title for this particular Google Doc. And then what I do is I have certain sections set up where I put in my rough draft, my run of show, what I'm going to do in there, the ROS, run of show. I'll put in different areas like my description for a YouTube channel. I put that in there so I can put a whole description, what I'm experimenting in there. I also put in the area for the possible titles for this. That works very nicely. So I put that in there and it works well. Now, when I'm doing an email blast, I'm sending out a message on email, and I want to really help the people that are subscribed to it, and we thank you for those of you that are. I like to pack a lot of good, usable information into each of those posts. What I do is I'm doing a brain dump, putting it in there into Google Docs, and I'm putting in my rough draft. This is really my doggy draft, as I say it, rough draft, get it? So I put that in there, make sure that it's taken care of, and I do that all the way through. Then I go back and I'm editing it. So first draft is I'm putting that in there. Then I go back and I'm doing an edit. This is just me. And notice I haven't run any of this through word processing, or haven't run it through any AI tool yet. Haven't used it on ChatGPT or Perplexity. But when I finally go through it, refine it again, there's my second draft, then I take that along with a prompt and I put it into Perplexity. Now, not just using Perplexity, but the reason I use Perplexity is because it has a focus called writing. It has several different focuses that are really good. I've talked about this in other videos. And by the way, stay tuned through the end of this. You're going to see a chance to watch some of the other things about that magnificent tool called Perplexity and how you can work with that. And we're going to help you on that. What you can do is you can then take that information you have, put it into Perplexity through the prompt there, and I have the prompt clean up Any errors? Remember I was saying it starts 2 spaces in and it doesn't capitalize it? Part of the prompt is using writing focus, and writing then focuses on how do we make this better in writing. It kind of blocks out, puts on blinders and says, don't pay any attention to what the current temperature is or current news items or anything else out on the net. Just focus on making this really good in writing so that you can use the right grammar, spell check it, and I put into the prompt, also make sure that you start each paragraph flush on the left with a capital letter. That's literally what I put in there, and it takes care of it like that. So instead of me going in there tediously and pressing that, taking 5 to 10 seconds to change that on every paragraph, I run the whole thing through Perplexity, focus on writing, and it cleans it up for me. Pretty handy. And speaking of pretty handy, one thing that you can do to help yourself is look over at starkravingentrepreneurs.com. That's where we have our program. You get a chance to see it and see that. And then let the algorithms know that you like this. Click the like, the share, and the subscribe. That would really mean the world to us. If you can do that to help out, make sure that you're getting this message, letting them know, hey, you like that. And I've got something for you that can help a lot. AI Tools for Biz. This is a free training program that you get. It's real simple to go through, and we talk about tools like ChatGPT. We talk about Canva, which is a fabulous tool using a lot of AI. DALL-E 3, most current version that gives you the ability to create pictures with your words. You just say the words and the pictures are there. OpenAI is the company that owns both DALL-E 3 and ChatGPT. They're a good company doing a lot. Lexicon.art is another tool we talk about that helps you to create that. Yoodli, Yoodli, Yoodli at yoodli.ai is a great speech coach that is AI, something we talk about there. And then Stable Diffusion is another thing we talk about. So you'll see that. Those of you who are catching this by video, you'll see there's a QR code there. I've got an even bigger one right here. So you head over to that URL or scan the code aitoolsforbiz.com, and that'll take care of it and fix you up. Okay, so let me look at where we are right now. I've gone through and I've done first an initial brain dump using Google's Google Doc, using that very well. Their word typing, voice typing that takes my words, puts them in there in a nice order. Then I go back and I'm editing that, changing words, doing my own editing. So there's my second draft that I'm going through, putting that together to make sure we get the right input that I'm going to put into Perplexity. Then the magic happens. After I load that, I do a copy and paste of what I put into my Google Doc into Perplexity, then it comes back in a few seconds and gives me a wonderful rewritten and cleaned up piece of text. I see that and I go, hey, this is great. So what I do then is I copy that from Perplexity back into the Google Doc that I'm using for that particular post. And it goes into a different section, not where I have my rough draft, but where I have, here is the input that came back from Perplexity. And that's literally what I call the section. After Perplexity went through and it did it. And then now I go through that. The third edit was Perplexity doing it. I'm going through a fourth edit on this. Now that can sound like it's very time consuming. Actually, it's not. This whole process usually takes me about an hour or less. Sometimes it might go to an hour and a half, depending what it is, but to produce a written text mailing that I'm doing. And this is so much faster than what we've done before and much cleaner, because now Perplexity has come back and I've asked it to add a little bit of fun, maybe some funny where it would be appropriate. It suggests some, and I'm editing what Perplexity put in there. I'm not just copying and pasting it. I'm taking some of it and going, okay, that's good, I like that. I might leave that intact. Others, and a lot of it, I'm changing. I'm saying, I don't care for that, that's not me. Oh, this is good, but I need to change it a little bit this way. Add some words, tweak with it. So I'm being the editor, changing what Perplexity has given me. And then Perplexity is very nice. Down at the bottom, it gives me several suggestions on what you might do or some things I might add to it or some ways that I'll do it. I'll look at those. I find usually at least one of those is something that I like. And I'll take it and alter it again, making it me. What I like to say is you want to you-ize what you're doing. Make it you. If your name is Mary, you want to Mary-ize it. Okay, if your name is Robert, then you want to Robert-ize it. I'm Terry, so I Terry-ize it, okay? It just sounds kind of cool that way. But I'll put that in there, make sure that it's me, and I'll put that in. Then what I'm going to do next takes it to the next final level. So here's where we are. I've now gone through what Perplexity gave me, and I've further edited that one, put it together. Now I'm ready to copy it and put it into our email dispenser. We use Kartra, and Kartra is really nice. I copy what I've got there after all about 3-4 edits that we've gone through, copy it into Kartra and clean it up that way. Make sure it's in the right spaces, everything looking good on it. And I sometimes change words there too. So I look at it and I go, I think I want to do that. Fine tuning and tweaking is what we need to do. I think I've heard before, really there's no such thing as writers, but only rewriters. So we keep rewriting and changing, always tweaking, always to get better. Then I send that as a test email to myself and to Gina. So she looks it over and she's giving me some really, really good feedback on that to change this, move it around. And I really like what she has to say. So I'll take that in Kartra, send it over to my email, look at it, and that's taking a few minutes there, usually maybe 1 to 2 minutes. I'll go through it. When I like it, I go, this is good, and then I push it through and schedule it for the edit. So there's the process. This is what I go through, and you can see what I'm doing there all the way through. Again, total time is usually an hour or less to get all of that done for the regular post that I'm sending out. And this is what you're going to be able to do. Now, you want to take what I've done just as an example, an idea, a starting point. Think about what you can do, how you can do this, and the way that you can make it yours. You-ize it. So you want to make it so that it's really you doing the whole thing. And I'd love to hear from you. Let me know what you think about this. This is the first time I've shared this, and we want to help you. We being Gina Carr, me and our whole staff and team that we have here at Stark Raving Entrepreneurs to help you become a better content creator, a better writer, a better person with video, with audio, whatever tool you're using to create your content, the texts you're sending out, the videos. We want to help you with that. And we have some other videos I was mentioning that are going to help you, and you can catch those right about here. So I will look forward to hearing from you. Please leave a comment below, and we will see you next time.